You're here today for the webinar on creating landing pages that get results. I don't know why you'd want to create landing pages that don't get results. That might be another webinar, but probably will not be facilitated by me. There was a time where I used to wear sneakers when I was on stage speaking. I'm actually wearing slippers right now, believe it or not. Could believe me or don't believe me, but you'll never know because you don't see my feet. When I used to speak at conferences, I would wear pretty cool sneakers. My favorite ones more recently have been Converse with a floral design. And that allows me to stand out and people can remember who I am if they did not remember my name or the session. You may have actually forgotten what this session today is about. Well, one thing that was happening in my inbox, I saw this cool email. I had emoji in the subject line, which I've always told people to use. And it said that cool sneakers were on sale and it was like a 40% off sale. I couldn't pass that up. I opened the email, they got my attention. And I looked and I saw another cool pair of Converse, not floral, but they were like purple and they had a little bit of white in it. And I wanted to buy them. I clicked on the link and I went to the company's main website. That meant I had to go and search for these sneakers. I had to drill down using filters. And what was so hard about that, it took me a while to find the sneakers. Actually, I didn't find the exact ones that were in the email. I don't know why they didn't link to it directly. I ended up not buying those sneakers and they lost out on a sale. That's because they did not effectively use a landing page. They didn't link to the product, which is probably the biggest bit of advice I can give you is link to a product in an email, or if you're going to have a product or service you're selling, have a landing page for that. My name is Hank Hoffmeyer. I am the digital marketing infotainer. I like to make marketing fun and successful, but I'll let you be the judge of that. I'm also the senior manager of client solutions. Today, we're going to cover what is a landing page. Let's talk about that. We'll go over the elements of the landing page and what should you should include when you create some. And we'll talk a little bit about conversions and how do you formulate success, as well as why should you use a landing page and what are some situations where you need to make sure that you're using a landing page. So go ahead in the chat section, let me know what you think a landing page is. And I'm going to sit here and watch my watch and wait for those to come in. Just kidding. Go ahead in the chat there. Let me know what you think a landing page is. What is the definition of a landing page? It can be a word. It can be a sentence. Whatever you think a landing page is. Info page wish. Whoa, that chat is going fast. Info page with conversion call to action. Suzanne, thank you. Stephanie says a home page, a destination. Ramon, thank you. Philippa says first impression, any web page that prospect lands on from any ad. Thank you, Patrick. First page you arrive to. So we got a lot of chats going in here. So a lot of you are getting the point, and it's awesome that you're using the chat. I appreciate that. Standalone web page, gateway to more information. We could probably use a lot of these. And what we want to do is tell you what a landing page is pretty much. It's a specific page for a product or a service. It should be branded and focused. In other words, it should have your branding colors, your logo, so that people know that it's you, especially if they're coming from, say, an email and going to a landing page, it needs to be branded and focused. It can be added to the navigation. It can be hidden from the navigation, or it can be hosted somewhere else. In other words, with iContact, you can host a landing page, but it does not have to live on your website. But the most important thing, it is a specific page for a product or service. It's not your home page. It's not your about page. It could be in some situations, maybe you only have a home page. Maybe you have about us information that you want people to see, and that is the landing area for those people. But really, if you're selling a product or service, it's relatable to that product and service and solely focuses on that conversion for that product and service. And I love that Hank says, capture email addresses. I guess great Hanks think alike. Like I mentioned, focuses solely on the conversion. And lastly, it reduces friction. has enough information on there to make it a no-brainer to either provide information or to go through, click, buy, whatever it is, set up a consultation depending on what you do. Apple does a great job here of selling MacBook Pros. They make it really simple for you to say, hey, if I'm in the market for a laptop, I'm going to click the buy now, either spec out my laptop and buy it. They already have brand recognition. They don't need a huge logo, but it is there. And it's basically allowing the product to sell itself. Now, if I had an email saying, hey, we have a new MacBook to our lineup and a link to it, this could be the landing page that I would go to, not their homepage, which would be the mistake that most people make. 52% of marketers reuse landing pages for different marketing campaigns, and 48% of marketers build different landing pages for each campaign. So let me stop here. And what I want to do is ask you, do you use landing pages currently? I'm going to throw a poll up here. So I'm going to put that up, and please go ahead and participate in this poll. Are you using landing pages now? Yes, somewhat. Yes, a lot. No, no, but I need to. I see the bars moving around, a lot of answers coming in. This is awesome. Love it. I got a yes in the chat. That's great. Don't forget to ask your questions, put those in the chat as well, or put them in the Q&A section more importantly. All right, I'm going to give it another second or two. It looks like it's slowing down here. Looks like the winner is yes, somewhat, and then no, but I need to is second. So that is awesome. Let me go ahead and share those results with you. You should be seeing those results, and the winner is yes, somewhat, and then in second place, no, but I need to. You actually gave me information that helps me give you a better presentation today, because I like to know what kind of audience I'm talking to. Just like targeting your audience as a marketer, I want to give you relevant information. And it looks like I need to dive deep in some areas, but yet surface level on others. All right, let me get rid of that poll. So we know that you need to create landing pages. And for the most part, if you're going to hire someone or you don't know how to create landing pages, they're kind of expensive to create. If you hire someone, you could probably pay $75, maybe $3,000, depending on what goes into creating that landing page. Well, what does that mean? Hank just told me that it could be expensive to create a landing page. After I gave you information that you need to create more landing pages or start creating them, and that they could be expensive, I have another poll for you. Let me go ahead and bring up that poll. All right. What does knowing that you need to create more landing pages mean to you? That you need to spend more money? Buy more time in the day for $500, please? I need more aspirin? Or do you have it figured out? Go ahead and take that poll for me. Numbers are going up. It's moving around. I feel like I'm a host of a game show. This is awesome. I appreciate all the participation today. And I think Darren knows I like to call on people in the audience. He's actually been to a conference in person that I've spoken at, and he participated in a group activity that I had. And you better be participating in this poll, Darren. All right, so it looks like the winner is buy more time in the day for 500, please. Don't we feel like that in our professional lives every day? Wish you had a couple more hours to get some work done, or a couple more hours to spend time with your friends and family, maybe. Number two looks like it's a tie between I need more aspirin and I have it figured out. Oh, somebody just voted and I have it figured out, actually just edged out. Let me go ahead and end this poll. Let me share the results. Here are the results. Looks like people really just need more time, which is very telling to me, because what I have to share with you next is kind of relevant for that. Let me stop sharing. And the cool thing is, if you're already an iContact customer, we have a landing page editor. It's very easy to use, drag and drop, create and publish a landing page, and then track your results. If you're not an iContact customer, maybe you want to think about becoming an iContact customer. Or if you're just here today to consume information about creating landing pages, that's okay too. If you have a favorite platform to use, go ahead and let us know in the chat area there. I've got another country here. We got Central Mexico. My audience is broadening. I love it. If you didn't let me know where you're from in the chat, go ahead and do that again. Love to hear that. Yeah, so iContact has a great platform to use. There are other great ones out there, but if you like to have tools in the same platform, iContact is great for that. Let's dive into the elements of a landing page. Now, all of these elements are not necessarily going to be for everyone, but these are powerful elements that you could think about including in your landing page. And I'm going to go through these here quickly. You don't have to take notes if you're taking notes or type feverishly. We're going to dive into each of these categories in more detail. Number one, you need to have a unique selling proposition. Number two, most important, in my opinion, in some ways, is having a hero image or a video on that landing page. Again, we're going to dive into these, so don't mind that I'm going a little bit fast here. Add social proof to help create more conversions. Have a benefit of your offer. If I buy from you or I'm thinking about buying from you, how will I benefit as the consumer? And John, thank you for the love for iContact. I appreciate your support. And we also want to make sure, lastly, we have a call to action. You can have a great landing page, and you have all this information on there, and you have a wonderful video, pictures, and maybe pink text. But what do you want me to do? How do I do it? If you don't have a call to action, you'll have less conversions. I don't think I've ever seen a landing page where I had to find somebody's email address or stalk them on LinkedIn to try to buy from them. That is just too much work, folks. You want to make it very easy. Let's dive in and look at these in detail. So your unique selling proposition should include a main headline. This is the first line of text that people see. It should be concise yet powerful. This is the first thing people are going to see at the top. What is this page about? What information is here? Next, you can have a supporting headline. I'd say maybe below an image or a video that gives more information and more context to what you're trying to get people to do. And you can also have a reinforcing statement underneath the headline. Remember, people read from top to bottom, especially if you have different size fonts. What happens is people read the headline, look at the image, read the supporting headline, and then what is below it. Also, you want to have a closing argument. Hey, I told you all the cool things and the benefits of working with me. Here's my closing argument, why I feel you need to purchase from me, buy from me, work with me, whatever. All right. You should have a hero image or video. A hero image is like a big image. It's usually at the top of an email or landing page or somewhere on your website. Humans are visual by nature. We love to scroll Instagram. TikTok is popular because there's a lot of video and there's a lot of pictures on there, and we want to be entertained. According to Wishpond, 90% of the information sent to the brain is visual. You want to make sure you have those visuals to break up the text that's there. I don't know about you, but when I get through a long day at work, I don't want to read a lot of text. Images help convey your messages. Use them often and use them right. It's the first thing they're going to see before they read the headline or the top bit of text. They'll look at that and then they'll read. So keep that in mind. And it also helps drive people's eyeballs down the page. So use pictures, especially a hero image. It allows you to showcase your product and services. Really using videos is very important because you could put a video of how your product works, or if it's a service, what are the benefits of that service? Why should I work with you? Video does all of that. And make sure if you're using video, you have subtitles and captions. This way, if they have it muted, they still get the point. Adding social proof to your landing pages is very powerful. You can add testimonials of clients or customers that have done business with you. And people will trust you more by saying, hey, well, this is what this person thinks, and I want to have that same experience. I'm going to do business with them. I'm going to click buy now. I'm going to fill out that form, whatever that is. Go ahead and put some testimonials on your landing page. Reviews, add reviews from Google, from Yelp, wherever you can. That is public information. Take that and add it to your landing page for a little bit more of a relationship building type of scenario. And then you can also bring in social quotes. What are people saying about you that's positive on your social media channels? Go ahead and embed a really cool tweet that somebody tweeted at you. Maybe it's a Facebook post, or maybe it's an Instagram post. Go ahead and put those on your landing page to help solidify that landing page's relationship building efforts. The benefit of your offer: use bullet points. Here's benefit 1, 2, and 3. We like to read down, and the bullet points allow us to read one item and come down rather than it being a long paragraph, which makes our brain run a little bit harder and tires us out. The bullet points, you'll always see that in a session like we did for this webinar. The main 3 takeaways will be boom, boom, and boom. You want to make sure you use bullet points. Also, again, images to support your benefits. Then also video, again, you can use video in this section of your landing page. And let's talk about that call to action. What do you want me to do? Your call to action section can also have a headline, and it can support the rest of the content that's on there. Main headline, but then there's the call to action headline. Act now before the deadline, whatever that might be. Don't forget to use hyperlinks, not only for the button, but make sure you're using hyperlinks throughout your landing page as well to get people to click early and often if possible. And again, the call to action can be a video as well. And a video can be simply something talking about the benefits or what you want them to do. Go to our website and sign up for our free consultation by filling out the form on our website. The button's right below here. Go ahead and click it. It's probably just a really cool example of how to do that. Let's talk about conversions, because why would you go through the pain of creating a landing page, especially if you bought more time today for $500, if you're not going to convert? What you want to do is make sure the positive factors outweigh the negative factors on your landing page. Go ahead in the chat. I already warmed your fingers up. What are some positive things and what are some negative things that can happen when it comes to a conversion? I'm going to check the Q&A just to make sure everything's okay while we're doing that. Positive things and negative things that can happen in regards to content or the items we just spoke about on a landing page. Keep those questions coming. For the most part, we'll take them at the end of today's session. So I see there's nothing going on with the webinar technically here, but let's keep rolling. More traffic, repeat users, clicking but not following through. Those are actions. But if we talk about positive and negative factors, positive factors would be concise, a lot of white area, clear call to action. Negative factors would be friction. It would be, I don't know if I want to give my first name, last name, email address, street address, how much I paid in taxes last year, my favorite color, and the names of my children. Would I, just to get a 20% coupon for cool sneakers? No, that's called friction. For a coupon, I just need to click a button and maybe sign up for an email newsletter using my email address. So the positive factors are what is going to make me convert. And the negative factors are what are going to make me click away from that landing page and not look at it anymore and get a bad taste in my mouth for you as a brand and you as a company. Dave said negative, too much text, too long to read. Right on point. Love that answer. That is something that some people do not want to do. Maybe if you're a lawyer and you're buying something and you want to read all the fine print, yeah, they'll read something long, but for the most part, no. Here is I was never really good at math in school, and I never loved formulas. And my son's 10 now and he does math, and I struggle with the math he does, and they teach it differently than I've learned it. But this is the key to online conversion. And this is a formula that is pretty easy to remember. Pretty much the likelihood of a conversion happens when the relevance, motivation, value proposition, and your offer are greater than the friction or anxiety on that page. You also do not want to give people anxiety and make them feel like they're getting ripped off, they're getting duped, they are paying too much for something, they're not going to get support after the purchase. You want to give them the motivation, the value proposition. Our support reps answer calls within 1 minute. or something like that if it comes to support. And why are you getting a good deal? Maybe you can compare yourself to your competitors and why your pricing and why your service is better. So let's dive in and talk about formulating success. Now that you know the secret formula to conversions, keep in mind you only have 8 seconds to make an impression when somebody visits your landing page. If I visit your landing page, I should be able to figure out what it is you're trying to sell me or inform me about. And I need to make a decision. Do I want to keep reading or am I going to leave? Am I going to have friction and anxiety and leave your web page? Maybe you sell speakers and you want to sell more Bluetooth speakers. What you could do is make sure you have good design, add really good graphics and images about your product or service or whatever it is you do. Use that negative or white space. Negative space would be black, and Apple does a good job of that as well. They use black space and then they also use white space. What you want to do is avoid clutter. In other words, don't give me too much to read. Do not give me too much to absorb so that I can make an informed decision on what I want to do. Make sure that the colors are on brand or spark emotion so that people can go ahead and make that decision and have a pleasurable experience looking at your webpage, especially if you have to scroll a little bit, change things up. And you can see here that the colors kind of vary a little bit and keep your mind entertained. And it allows you to look down the page and make sure that you have that downward flow so that people start absorbing all of the content you have. Now, here's a tip. Organize your landing pages into 3 sections. Now, these are just general rules. You might have certain situations or be in a certain industry where you can deviate from this, but have 3 sections to your landing page, limit to 3 colors, and then have no more than 3 font types. I'd hate to see a lot of different font types, especially if they're drastically different. You might think that you're creating an opportunity for people to read more, but actually it can create a jarring experience. And there's not a slide on here for it, but test your landing pages. Create 2 versions of it and see which one performs better, and then use the one that is performing the best. This way, you as a marketer, you might think, I'm awesome. I'm a great designer. I know how to lay out this landing page, and you're going to think it's great and it's going to make you $1 million. But then you put it out and you get 5 visitors in a week and nobody converts. Let your audience decide what content matters to them. Ask them, test the content so that you know what converts. Make sure you have a clear call to action. 90% of customers who read the headline will also read your call to action, as long as they're going to be able to see it on the same page, which is something called above the fold. Provide options if possible. Maybe you want somebody to start a trial or maybe get a demo. There's 2 options there. For iContact, that would be a good opportunity, is start your trial now. You don't need help, don't have questions, go ahead and get started. You want a demo? Reach out to one of our sales folks. We'll happily give you a demo. Tell them what to do. If your web page is informative or they have questions, maybe you need to spell it out for them. H. Bloom here is telling you that they're going to basically give you a design consultant, and then they're going to create a proposal, and then hopefully you're going to buy from them and they're going to ship you your arrangement. And then, hey, the only thing you need to do is fill out this form at the top of the page here. Or maybe before you leave, if you don't, just sign up for our newsletter for specials down the road. I love how they put their sign up form down there at the bottom. We already talked about adding testimonials and social posts, but social proof can go a long way. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. You probably heard of KLT. If not, it means know, like, and trust. If you have certifications, awards, or something, put those on your landing page so that people will want to do business with you. And keep in mind that last statement there, that part of 70% of people will trust a review from someone they've never met. If they read something positive about you, that will give you those positive factors on your landing page, and it will not be a negative aspect. People trust information from people they've never even met. Be visual, use images, use video, break things up a little bit. I love these 2 examples here. They really do a good job of a layout and using colors, and my eyes are just drawn down these landing pages. Now they're separate ones, so the colors are different, obviously. Make sure to use high quality images. Don't use anything that's not high quality, that's grainy, or doesn't even relate to your product or service just because you think it's cool. And there's a lot of great free photography sites out there that you can get graphics from if you need to. Otherwise, you could pay for them. And trust me, it's well worth using those high quality images. Users are 80% more likely to read content that's combined with images. And I told you earlier that how important images are, and it helps drive the eyeball down, but also can break up text within your landing page. We already spoke about using video, but I want to reiterate how important video is. Half of online users look for videos related to a product before they visit a store. Think about that. This can be related to financial, which somebody was asking about. Video probably is going to be important. Somebody getting in front of the camera and talking about anything financial. I think, especially with eye contact and somebody looking at the camera and talking and being knowledgeable, can be very powerful. I saw a couple TikTok videos. There's a lot of lawyers getting on TikTok now. There's doctors getting on TikTok. They're giving advice and they're creating really good content on TikTok. I think that for financial services, landing pages are crucial. Also keep in mind that people retain 95% of what they see or hear in a video versus 10% of reading it in text. Cannot stress the importance of using video enough. But then again, when it comes to asking for information, you want to ask for just enough. I gave you the example earlier of, say, a form with like 20 bits of information that's required to click the access now, buy now button, or whatever it is. What you want to do is at least ask for an email address. And then maybe for email marketing, you can ask for an email address and first name so you can personalize the email. That is all you need to start a relationship, folks, is a first name and email address. That's all you need. You can always ask for more information later. But I like this here, and depending on what industry you're in, financial services, insurance, you may be able to ask for a phone number so that you can call them or text them, which is becoming more and more popular. Don't forget to throw your social media platforms or channels at the bottom, top, middle of your landing pages so that people can either share your content if you're going to let them link your landing page out, or go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram to follow you. Give them another way to absorb information. Maybe I visit your landing page and I'm just not fully sold yet. And I say, you know what? They have a Facebook page. Let me see what's going on over there. And I see people ranting and raving about your product or your service. That would reinforce in my mind, even though I don't know them, that I should probably do business with you. And then maybe I'll go back to the landing page and convert, or maybe a week later, I get an email from you to a different landing page and I convert there. That relationship building, it's being where your audience is and allowing them to know you holistically. Those testimonials, folks, you have to add them to your landing pages. 37% of the top landing pages include testimonials. If you don't have any, start asking for them. This way you can get them on your landing pages. Use them in emails as well. Maybe you have a situation where you can use countdown timers. This is a way to create scarcity or let somebody know that the deal is actually ending. Now, don't say act within 24 hours, but then the deal actually extends beyond 24 hours. You want to make sure that you're trustworthy. So using countdown timers can help if it works for your business. Now, let me ask you a question. It's been a while since I've had to use the chat area, but do you think you should have a navigation bar in your landing page? This means people can go to your landing page, which is supposed to be for a specific conversion. Should you link them to your homepage, about page, contact us, or whatever it is? Should your landing page have a navigation bar? Getting some yeps, nopes, yeps, yes, no, yeep. Yeah, but at the bottom of the landing page, Stephanie, I like that. Limited, yes. Well, here's the answer. It's yes, no. I like that term. Yes, no. Depends on the situation, depends on your brand, depends on a lot of different things. Maybe you have something that you know might not perform well, and you want to give people the opportunity to go somewhere else on your web page. If I sold apparel and I linked to, say, sweatpants, but it's, getting close to summer, some people still might buy sweatpants, but maybe I want shorts. Maybe in my navigation bar, I want to include certain categories like summer apparel, shorts, tank tops, whatever it is. Or maybe you do want to give people more options to go to your homepage or about us page because you want to build that trust. Maybe a real estate company is meet the team. It can be something like that. It is not detrimental to link to other areas, but there are times where you might limit yourself if you don't have any other links to other sections of your website, because maybe people want to go back and learn more about you. At the very least, have your logo and have the logo link back to the main part of your website so people can go there, then navigate back. There's no clear answer. There's no stats that stand out to me that say yes or no that you have to. So it's yes, no, or dependent, I guess is what you might want to call it. And, why do you want to use a landing page? That's pretty much why we're here today. And then also the how, but you want to use a landing page because you effectively want to inform people, provide value to your audience so that you get that conversion. You end up with a customer, maybe get repeat purchases, develop a relationship with them, and it helps test your design skills, maybe, is another reason. I love how Apple creates a lot of their landing pages. They're no nonsense. They have very little clutter. They allow you to basically make a decision by going to that landing page. But then again, you can just go back to their website and more see shop online at the top. So they kind of use a little bit of navigation there. I think they do a good job. And they do something called tactical advertising. It's a lot of information technical, because when you buy a laptop, you want to know if it's going to work for your needs. They don't really have to pull your emotional strings as much, because I don't think buying a laptop is an emotional decision. It's more of a, hey, is this going to do what I need to do? About relevance. We were talking about the good things on a landing page, but also if you are linking to a landing page from, say, online advertising like pay-per-click, you might want to make sure that the content in your ad is the same as what's on your landing page. BB&T here says free checking with BB&T. Now, if I just link back to the main website, or a website that allowed me to choose from free or paid, that would be disjointed and it might cause some friction. So make sure whatever it is, whether it's a Facebook ad or if it's a pay-per-click ad on Google, that you have that relevance and that the two match so that you can have more propensity of people to convert. Another example here is family insurance plans. If somebody searches for family insurance plans and they get your ad, then they go back to your main page, or they have to choose what type of insurance they want, creates more friction. So the landing page for the family insurance plans should be family insurance, discounted family insurance, free online quotes. Start quote now. They're asking for a zip code and then what type of insurance you want. And obviously when you click through, they'll ask for a little bit more information, which is important to know. That's a good example of creating some relevance so that your landing pages convert more. Now what? So we're getting close to the end of our presentation today. And what I want to do is make sure that you have some key takeaways. What I want you to do is create more landing pages, but more importantly, create better landing pages and get rid of the clutter. I don't know about you, but if I was looking for a vacation, I probably would not look at that landing page on the left without getting a headache and needing some aspirin. I'd prefer to create something like the Apple landing page on the right-hand side so that there is more opportunity for me to get a conversion. Create more landing pages, create better landing pages, but please don't clutter them up, and use all of the elements that we spoke about today. And with that, I want to open up for questions and see what you have on your mind. And I know there were some that came in. I'll go ahead and look at those. Let's talk about landing pages, or if you want to talk about email marketing, let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and get into the Q&A section and start typing up those questions. All right, let me take a look at the Q&A section first. All right. Michelle says, we set up a landing page for clients currently using Mindfire and SharpSpring and purchased the domains through GoDaddy. Would we create a CNAME or change the name servers for iContact? It depends on what your goal is here. And I'm just reading through that again to make sure. If you're just linking to your landing page from the email, there's no issues there. But if you're looking to use iContact's landing pages, you would just create them there. But if you're looking to host an iContact landing page in the other platform, there is what we call embedding, and you can do that. If you can clarify that, I hope I answered that correctly. What do you consider a good click-through rate? For landing pages, to be honest with you, the click-through rate or the conversions are lower than email marketing. 3 to probably 5% conversion rate is probably pretty good for a landing page. But there are companies out there that do get very high conversion rates. We use infographics to explain our services consultations because they're complex. However, don't know how to make an infographic that's ADA compliant. The alt text field is too small, fully done. Is there an easy fix or would? That's a great question. I think if you use a tool that allows you to put that alt text in there, the alt text is sufficient for ADA compliance. I believe iContact adding the alt text is fairly easy and works pretty well. Mary, if you want to reach out to us separately, I'll try to remember this question and get back to you maybe through email. See if we can help you with that. That one's a little bit harder to talk about in general, but maybe we can help you there. Can you create a main page and a thank you page with your platform? Yes, you can create 2 different pages if you need to and link them together. What's the difference between a landing page and a Google ad other than paying for the clicks with the ad? Well, the ad is the mechanism to get people to go to your landing page, right? You're going to go to Google, you're going to say, hey, I want to have ads for cool sneakers. And then when I see that ad, it's going to click through to the landing page, which helps with the conversions. Hopefully, if you're selling sneakers, you're going to bring me to the sneakers that I want to buy rather than having me search for them. Click rates for newsletters, 5% is the average. Depends on your industry, depends on how often you send, depends on the content in your email, but 5% click-through rate is pretty normal. Just again, really depends on your industry. Our transition effects better for landing page sections. Just learn our homepage is very text heavy. If you're talking about like using different colors, maybe background colors, yes, that helps. Definitely see a lot of landing pages do that. Some of them use animations like colors coming in or text fading in. All of those are pretty good to use. What you want to do is keep the visitor's eyes glued to your page, and you want to make the scrolling experience pleasurable rather than painful. Like, oh God, just 3 more paragraphs. There's 3 more paragraphs. When am I going to get to the end of this landing page? They probably won't even get to the end, to be honest with you, if they're saying that in their mind. How to promote socials more. Follow us here is not getting enough clicks at the end of newsletters. I feel like both, like asking people on your social media channel to sign up for your newsletter and vice versa, asking people to get your newsletter, following on social media does not get huge cross-pollination. But if you're looking to grow both, it's really tactics and strategies around what you're doing. It could be advertising, organic growth, like on Instagram, reaching out to people on Instagram, looking at hashtags and finding people and going into their comments or into direct messages and starting a conversation, not selling anything, starting a conversation. Usually they'll end up following you and that grows. Your newsletter subscribers, you want to make sure you have a pop-up possibly on your website, but not the intrusive one that shows up 2 seconds after I visit your page because I didn't even get a chance to know what you do. Buy me a beer first. Let's get to know each other. Maybe I'll sign up for your newsletter. And what you should do is use exit intent pop-ups when people go to leave your website. Hey, before you go, do you want 10% off? Sign up for our newsletter. That'd be a good way to do that. There are very effective ways to grow your list and also grow your social audience. What's really cool about iContact is we have account managers, designers, and content people that help our clients with this. If you didn't know that, you could definitely learn more about that. And if you don't have an account manager, you can always get one if you're an iContact customer. And we can do all of this without you using iContact, some of the strategy help, as well as helping you with social media. We have somebody that's an SEO expert on our team. They can help you with all of that. So a lot of these questions are more one-offs, and we probably should have some kind of conversation somewhere. Can you create personalized landing pages using variable data? Yes, but I don't think it's in its prime right now. Our sister company, Campaigner, you can actually put what we call dynamic content on a landing page, and it'll now if you're in the Campaigner platform, you visit that page, it'll have your name and your information, whatever you want to include. But if you're not, it'd be generic information. So the answer is yes, you can do it, but you need to be careful with how you implement it, because it needs to make sense for people that you don't have data on. And especially with all of these tools and things that are coming out to stifle tracking people, iOS 14.5 on the iPhone is now blocking apps that track your data across applications. In other words, Facebook knows what you're doing with other applications, what websites you're visiting. Now they're actually can be blocked on the iPhone, but that also limits the amount of content that marketers can get that's actionable. What you want to do is build a relationship with your audience and ask them for the information so that you can put it into your systems and use it accordingly. Any recommendations about headlines for form sign-ups, CTAs, sign-up? It really matters, again, on the person. What you could do is, if there's an offer or benefit of signing, why would I want to sign up? Sign up for our newsletter. Why? You could put sign up now, right? And underneath it could be sign up for a newsletter for valuable information on how to increase your financial stability if you're in finance, or find out how our vacuum outperforms the others. It really sucks. I don't know, something like that. Or if it's a coupon you're offering in turn for the conversion, like getting their information, go ahead and do that. It just depends on you and what you're doing. It seems like that's the common theme here. It depends on you, your business, your bandwidth, your budget, a lot of different things. I want to scroll through the chat, because I see some people did put some questions in the chat. Don't be afraid to ask some more questions because we have 15 more minutes. How do people get to your landing page? Is it based on keywords, hashtags? Another great question. How do they get there? As a marketer, you should be driving traffic to your webpage. That'd be through Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever it is, or through your email newsletters linking to a landing page. But yes, if you host them, publish them in a correct manner, they will have SEO value. They can be searched on Google, and you have to decide whether or not you want them to be listed on Google. Maybe it's a private offer for somebody that's getting an email from you, and that's the only way they can get that offer. You'd want to tell Google not to index that site, that web page. But there's many different ways to drive people to a landing page. And like I said, advertising is one of the biggest mechanisms. And then also search is good too. Just depends on what you're trying to do. How many people get to your landing page? Is it based on, oh, that's the same one. When is it best and beneficial to use an iContact landing page over growing content by publishing page on my own site? We allow you to see how many people visited your website, how many people signed up on a sign-up form if it's on an iContact landing page. So there's that data that stays within iContact and also correlates to your sends with the email. If you quickly need a way to stand up a landing page, because maybe you work for a company and you have to put a request into your IT department, then they have to hire a consultant and then a designer, and then a month later you have a landing page and maybe that gets delayed. You can quickly spin up a landing page with iContact. You can get the data you need, and you get the support through our support services as well. Hopefully that answered your question in a good manner. In your email to a landing page, how many links should you have? Is it bad practice to have too many links to different pages? Again, dependent. Normally, yes. Go here if you want this, go here if you want that, and then go here if you want this, and go here if you want this other thing. That can get kind of confusing. But now if you're a retailer, e-commerce, and you have a bunch of different products, it's okay to link to the different products. But let's say my goal is to sell you construction services, and I want to give you a quote. All the links should be relevant to quoting FAQs, and then there should be a form on that landing page to get your contact information. How big should a logo be on a landing page? As big as it needs to be to convey the branding is probably the best advice I can give you. I would say the smaller the better, but not so small you can't see it. The Apple one that I have up on the screen, it's small, but yet you can still see it. So it just depends. If you had a larger logo, it'd probably be harder to read if you made it that small. Just look at it and see what it looks like compared to the other content. Maybe find friends, family, colleagues, whatever, post on a LinkedIn or somewhere and just say, hey, we're thinking about using this layout for a landing page. What do you think? Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. How do landing pages? So Hank's asking, I guess, how do landing pages work? So if you have landing pages in your account where you can get it, you just go over to the landing pages section, you click create, and you're going to drag in your text, your images, your video, your forms, all that. Click publish, and boom, you're done. You can just share that link out or use that in your emails. You can embed it on your website, whichever one is best for you. Can you run through the creation of a landing page in iContact? Dave, what I'll do is I'll send you a link to a video that goes over how to do that. I don't have myself logged into an iContact account right now. You guys were such a great audience. Can I point an iContact landing page from my, yes, you can. You can link to an iContact landing page. It's just a link. That's all it is. If you create it that way and host it that way, it's just a link. Looks like everybody's not as zoomed out as I thought. As you guys are a great audience. Is there a reporting dashboard we can give clients access to a limited access login? That's a great question. I believe if you give somebody reporting powers, they can see that, but they can also see the email reporting. Just keep that in mind. But I think the answer is yes there. Support probably answer that question, or somebody in sales. If you're not an iContact customer, let me know if you're an iContact customer, if you're still here in the chat. That'd be great to know. I know a couple of people definitely are, but it'd be good to know. Oh, a bunch of iContact customers. Awesome. 10 years. Thank you, Andrew. And no more new questions. I got a new one just now from Timothy. Does Google Analytics get referral source data from embedded landing pages using? Well, if it's embedded, what'll happen is if you pass the parameters, UTM parameters, it'll go to your website. So yes, basically you're going to get that Google Analytic data. And that's something I haven't had to answer in a long time. Terry's been with us for over 10 years. Awesome, thank you. Any other questions about email marketing or landing pages? Q&A or chat section would be good for those. Thank you, everybody who is an iContact customer. A lot of you are. iContact's commitment to supporting the nonprofit community in North Carolina is outstanding. We offer nonprofits in North Carolina a free account, 20% for those that are outside of North Carolina. We love supporting nonprofit and we love supporting small business. And I think I want to give everybody 10 minutes back in their day. You know why? Because I want you to go into your iContact account, or if you want to start a trial, go in and start developing a landing page. I didn't give you more time for $500, but I just gave you a free 10 minutes segment to go ahead and into iContact and start looking at the landing page editor, create something awesome. If you want to share it with me, I'll help boost your numbers by visiting. I don't know if I'll convert, depends on how good you are with developing it. But if you want to create a landing page and send it to me at j2.com, I'd be happy to take a look at it and see how you did, maybe give you some feedback. And by all means, make sure that you check out the editor at the very least, and make sure you look for future webinars from iContact so that we can keep you informed and provide you value like we did today. With that, I appreciate everybody being here from across the globe, and I appreciate your willingness to participate in chat and all the wonderful questions. Hope you have a great rest of your week and a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next webinar.